Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our board meeting. It's so nice to see so many faces out there. We have some special people from Spring Valley who will lead us in the flag salute. Please stand. Thank you. That was excellent. You're hired. Every meeting. Okay, this meeting is being televised and recorded for the transcription of the minutes. At this time, speakers wishing to address the board this evening should turn in the completed speaker card to the board secretary. And I'd like to ask our clerk, do we have any report that was taken during closed session?
Yes, I'd like to report that the board has voted to approve a waiver of closed session confidentiality to a confidential third party.
Thank you. Public comments. Speakers wishing to address the board on items on the agenda may complete speakers cards and submit them to the board secretary. Speakers addressing specific items on the agenda will have the opportunity to address the board at the time of the agenda item in the meeting. If you're addressing the board on a non-agenda item, please be aware that the provisions of the Brown Act prohibit the board from acting or discussing such matters at this meeting. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person per topic and 20 minutes per agenda item. Superintendent Skelly, do you have something for our agenda?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Ferrario. We would like to ask that the board move consent item number 3 from the consent agenda. This is approval of agreement number MESD 23-2444 with CAM Education from consent to the first item on district business.
Thank you. Do I have an approval for the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Great, thank you. Okay. So now we're going to look to our public comments. Do we have someone from the Millbrae Education Fund? Great. Layla, come on up. This is just a report, not your presentation. Yeah.
Then I will keep it short. Hi, everybody. So our big update, you will hear from me later tonight on the agenda item that we just spoke with. Sorry, Maggie. But our big update is that we have kicked off our annual fun run. So everybody give yourself a round of applause. So on Saturday, we kicked off our virtual fun run. We brought it back this year because we do help fund physical education for our elementary school students. And it is a value of MEF to make sure that we are encouraging and supporting physical education across our elementary schools. So for those folks who are participating in the fun run, you have 2 weeks to do your 5K, and the best time will get a prize, and the most minutes or miles walked or run will also get a prize. This is a community event and community fundraiser, and we have I think we have close to 250 participants this year, and of course I'm wearing my fun run t-shirt. And the Lions helped us kick off this virtual fun run this Saturday at Taylor Middle School by providing one of their wonderful pancake breakfasts. And we were so happy to have them there to do that. Frank was there. He was not flipping pancakes, but he was greeting everybody as we were happy to have him there. We have also officially kicked off gala planning season. We assembled our first team meeting last night, and I want everybody to save the date for March 23rd. We are back at the Hilton, and this year for lucky number 7, we're having a casino night. So think elevated Las Vegas, if you can elevate Vegas, but just keep that in mind. So we are in the midst of our fun run, we are in the midst of gala planning, and we will see everybody back at the Hilton on March 23rd, and I'll see you later tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much. Okay, next up, Millbrae Education Association. I know I saw someone here. There she is, Mrs. Colombo.
Good evening, President Ferrario, trustees, and Superintendent Skelly. Thank you to MEF and PTOs and all the PTAs for their continued support through the past few years and these upcoming years. A lot of teachers are already signed up and participating in the fun run and looking forward to going to the casino event this year. Also, MEA appreciates the continued work for negotiations, and we're hoping to settle our contract again early this year. So thank you.
Hey, classified school employees, CSEA. Is there anyone here tonight from CSEA? Okay, seeing no one. Moving on to members of the community. And seeing no slips. Okay. So now we're just going to move on to trustee communication and comments. Let me start with Trustee Barbaro down there, not giving me any eye contact.
Well, as Layla just said, they had a fantastic Saturday fun run with the MEF. And as she said, I wasn't cooking because I did cook the first 15 pancakes and I burned them all. So they moved me over to the sausage line and I served over there. But it was a fantastic event. The kids in general were superb. They were well-mannered. They had a blast. They were well-behaved. The parents had a really good time. It was a really fun event, and I was so pleased to be there and so proud of our MEF and so proud of the presentation she's going to make tonight, Layla, about where they're going with their funds. And so that's really exciting. Other than that, I really don't have too much more to say.
I'll make this kind of quick, but I think our bond team met and we discussed some of the questions, and I think there's going to be a survey out in the next month or so to ask the public about their appetite for putting a bond on the ballot. And so if you get a phone call, please answer the questions.
You know what, I'm gonna keep my comments short because I'm looking forward to the Spring Valley presentation, so.
I attended the fun run and it was a great event. I didn't eat any of the burnt pancakes, Frank, so I guess I got lucky there. I have my t-shirt and I'm starting to track my miles, and I'm looking forward to having that be a very successful fundraising for us all. I also want to shout out to Taylor Middle School. They've just started their Interact Club with the Rotarians. And I must say, after one meeting with their new advisor, who is the science teacher, Marshwin Carmen, and our Rotary representative, Lisa Burris, they've already been at the Rotary Carnival. We had 15 Taylor students show up to volunteer at the Rotarian Halloween Carnival. And just last night at our Rise Against Hunger, we had, I think, 9 Taylor Middle School students come and volunteer, putting together food packets for people who have, what did they call it, an ability to have a meal every night. We put together packets and we had Taylor representation there. So I'm really pleased to see our students really volunteering and getting into the community. So shout out to those kids.
Okay, Superintendent Skelly.
Thank you. Do you want to mention anything about the superintendent search or the status of that, or do you want to wait?
I certainly can. I mentioned that at the last meeting, but I'm going to mention again that our superintendent search met last Monday with the leadership associates, and we had a healthy number of applicants for a new superintendent. We've narrowed it down to about 6 applicants who we will interview on Saturday, all day, and then continue on Sunday to see if we have a prospective person to move forward. So we've been working really hard on that, and hopefully we're going to bring someone to you very soon. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. We have a super long agenda tonight, so I'll keep my comments brief. I've been subbing as the principal over Green Hills, really enjoying it. The students are fantastic, just being in classrooms, seeing the camaraderie among staff, and just students that are just so committed to learning, and parents that are so supportive has been really fun. And today, Ms. Gina Pappen, who's on the city council, came by. She is considered, she called herself an emergency sub. I'm not sure what that means, but she's thinking about being a substitute at our schools, which would be absolutely fantastic. We're always looking for subs. And if you know Gina, she's super comfortable in a crowd, but we'll see how she does with 25 second graders. So anyway, it was fun to show her around there as well. That's the end of my comments, given the length that we have tonight.
Thank you. I just want to add, I joined Dr. Skelly at Green Hills on Monday. And we went out into the yard at lunchtime. And a couple of students, I saw him first in the Foursquare line to be rotated in to play Foursquare with, third graders. And he finally, left that, and I told him to go over to the basketball court. So I saw him, traipse over there. So he comes back and he's got this little guy, probably about in first grade, standing next to him. They're having this conversation. And this little guy looks up at Dr. Skelly and he says, "You're tall." And Dr. Skelly said, "Yeah, my friends call me Shorty." And he said, "But you're not short." So he goes, "Well, it's kind of an inside joke." But it was really precious to see that. So I'm glad you were there. Yeah. Okay, so my favorite part of any board meeting is to welcome our school presentation. And tonight we are lucky to have Spring Valley with us. So Principal Hui, would you like to begin the program?
I have to film it.
All right, good evening, everyone. So good evening, parents, teachers, students, board members, district office officials, and Dr. Skelly. Oh, thank you. So I don't have to use my principal voice. Awesome. Okay. So our 23-24 school focus, we really want to focus on the student with the support from the school, family, and community. And at the center of it, we really want to focus on relationships and character development. So we first started off with giving back. When the Maui fires happened, we as a staff decided, what can we do as a school to help all of the people affected by the Maui fires? So each PLT decided to choose a teacher in their grade level to raise money for their GoFundMe. We raised about $3,889 with the support of our community and students. Here are some of their kind words back to our school. Hello, Mrs. Butler and your 4th and 5th grade classes. Thank you very much for your kindness and support. My students and I are very grateful and will remember this as we continue to rebuild. is very thoughtful and kind, and to know that all of you are so caring and kind is inspirational and continues to give us hope. Aloha. My family and I would like to thank you for your very generous donation to our fire restoration project. We have a long road ahead of us, but we will get there one day at a time. How wonderful that the second graders have shown such empathy towards people they don't even know. We are truly blessed. As we move forward, we will continue to think of your giving spirit. So this is just what I feel was so great that right away in August, our students and teachers all came together with our parents to raise money for people that, though we don't know, but we relate to because, you know, we ourselves can only imagine what they're going through. So as you can tell up here, we have my security team, my fifth grade valets. So the fifth grade valets first started off before I came here, and we brought it back, where they all simply welcome students at drop-off. Now we've changed it into more of a community leadership program where the students are giving back. So not only are they helping at drop-off and with lunch cards, they are now helping out during primary grade lunch. So during the primary grade lunch, which is comprised of both our new TK all the way through second grade, they're helping students not only open their lunch, they also help collect all the trays, also help bus tables with Mr. Arlen, and as well help our TK and K walk all of them back from the MUR all the way to the kindergarten playground. They have become such great positive role models. They high-five all of the students while they're walking, and they, I feel, have really set a great precedent for future students who want to become fifth grade valets and who want to also help around campus. So I just wanted to present, if we can just give a round of applause to our fifth grade valets. Valets, you may be seated. I'll use you later to walk me to my car. Thank you. All right, so on to character building. So at school, we have the Second Step program, and to help bolster the Second Step program, we've partnered with Harper for Kids, which is a nonprofit organization which is dedicated to the definition of success, and they use Coach John Wooden's Pyramid of Success of teaching students character traits month by month. So it's a time-tested teaching tool helping children become the best of which they are capable of becoming. So what is this comprised of? So every single month, we focus on a different character trait, whether it's one or two, and there's a book of the month that is attached to it. So what I normally do is I go into a classroom every single day, and I read to them a book associated with the character trait. Along with that, there's discussions with students. So either when I'm done reading the book or with their teachers, they have a discussion on what the character trait is. And then after that, there's posters and guest visits associated with it. So for example, in August, we read the book Inches and Miles. And then here is a picture of our first assembly with the founders of Harper for Kids, Peanut and Tim, where we want to ask the students, what does success look like to you? In September, we focused on hard work and enthusiasm. So the book that I read to the students was The Curious Garden, which is about a boy who decides to start gardening and planting around a city that was very dull and gray in order to bring life back to it. As you can tell here, we have examples of posters that if you walk throughout our Spring Valley campus of hard work and enthusiasm and what it means to students. So the top part here is from a third grade class, and the bottom part is from a fifth grade class. So we felt that with all these posters hung up around school, students are able to define and read what hard work and enthusiasm meant. So I'd like to first invite up our first guest speaker, Akshara Manikandan, to talk about hard work and enthusiasm.
Hi, my name is Akshara Manikandan. I'm a fifth grade student in Mrs. Butler's class. I'm here to talk about what hard work and enthusiasm means to me at Spring Valley. When I think of hard work, I think about the time we worked on our bear books in fourth grade in Miss Wong's class. I liked it because not only did I get to draw, but I also learned a lot about California's history. When I think about enthusiasm, I think about the time I ran for a student body president this school year. It showed enthusiasm because not only did it takes a lot of courage to get up in front of an entire school to share my speech. Because of being a student at Spring Valley, I learned when you work hard and are enthusiastic, you can achieve your goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshar. In the month of October, we focused on friendship and loyalty. This is where I read a book called The Invisible Boy. It's about a boy named Brian, who seems to be always overlooked in class and at school and by his peers. At the start of the book, he is only drawn in black and white, but as he becomes more included in the book, he becomes more in color. So as you can tell here, we have posters about what friendship is and what loyalty is. If you look at some of the posters, or some of the words on the posters, friendship is asking how they feel, helping a friend, helping people, taking care of them when they are hurt. So I'd like to invite up our second guest speaker, Eliza Lanton, to talk about friendship and loyalty. You got it? Okay. You can use yours.
Hi, my name is Eliza Lanton. I'm a 4th grade student in Mrs. Vogan's class. I am here to talk about what friendship and loyalty means to me at Spring Valley. When I think about friendship at Spring Valley, I think about making friends through finding out your similarities. An example of this is how my friends and I all like to talk, and we're all very funny. When I think about loyalty, I think about how my friends and I all trust and rely on each other. This shows when we all want to be safe on the playground during recess. Because of being a student at Spring Valley, I learned about how both friendship and loyalty teaches everyone to be respectful and kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliza. For this current month, we're actually focusing on cooperation. And I'd first like to invite up our student body president, JC Knight, to talk about our upcoming month. Actually, stand right here, sweetie. Right there.
Hi, my name is JC Nye. I'm a 5th grade student in Mr. Edwards' class. I'm here to announce our next theme for the month of November, which is cooperation. The next book Mr. Hui will be reading is When Pencil Meets Eraser by Karen Kilpatrick and Luis O. Ramos Jr. The book talks about when pencil draws on the pages of this book, eraser erases parts of pencil's work, and the book itself becomes a canvas for their different takes on creativity, until their two discover their artwork is even better when they work together. The book talks about how two opposites learn to appreciate each other, cooperate, and work together. We can't wait to talk about cooperation in class this month. Thank you.
Thank you, JC. So far this month, this is an example of what we do for with Harper for Kids, and it's optional. However, we do have classes join when they can. So we first had collegial tennis players from USF talk about what it takes to be a college athlete and how it takes determination, focus, and hard work. We also had a Zoom presentation with our bronze medal Olympian, Karen Smith, who also talked about what it takes to be an Olympian. So in addition to Harper for Kids, we still have a very active student council. First, I want to give a quick shout out to Leanna Cheng and Solon Chen, who were our two students who led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We just had our Vice President, JC Nye, come up and speak. And now our next speaker is our student body president, Max General Lau, to talk about his experiences at Spring Valley.
Hello everyone, my name is Maxwell General Lau and I'm the Student Council President of Spring Valley. I'm in 5th grade and in Mr. Edwards' class. I'm here to talk about some of my favorite memories I have at Spring Valley and what I hope to do as our student body president. My favorite memory at Spring Valley is Rubik's Cube Day. Although I can never solve the Rubik's Cube, I still try to this day. It was really exciting, especially since I got to meet someone who set the world record for solving a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Even though somebody already beat his record, it was awesome. One of my favorite subjects is U.S. history and learning about California in 4th grade. I learned about Native Americans, the gold rush in 1848, the Great Depression in 1929, while making the book of California history. What I liked so much about this was I got to learn how California became the state it is today. This year, as Spring Valley Student Body President, I want to get to know everyone, and something I hope to accomplish is organizing an additional Spirit Day for our Heritage Week. After listening to several students, I want students to wear articles of clothing from their culture, ranging from shirts or headbands, to help with the Heritage Week festivities. I believe in doing this, it will help kids learn more about different cultures. I want to thank everyone again for coming to our school spotlight, and I hope you all have an awesome school year.
Thank you, Max. So in addition to our student council, we still have our end of the month spirit assemblies, which we will kind of talk more about as we go down these bullet points. Instead of doing monthly copying goods, we have weekly copying good winners. We still have our Spirit Day Point trophy winners, which is extremely competitive. And as well as going back to the Harbor for Kids, how every single month has a different character trait. We have an end of the month character recognition instead. So we try to recognize a student from every single class that has shown some type of character trait of working hard, loyalty and friendship, and then at the end of this month, it'd be cooperation. Again, we're going back to how we want to always make sure that we're working with the community. So we've partnered with Mills High School. We first started with Heritage Week, where we had different clubs and classes come to teach students about different heritage and do different cultural dances. This year, we have partnered with their CSF club, where they're teaching STEM lessons to our students. So we first had one in September. As the picture here, they taught our students here about pH level and color. And then our next one, which I would love to invite our board members to, is on December 8th. We still, to be determined what they're gonna teach our students, but I think it's great when we have high school students who were former students come back and be able to give back to the community as well as teach our students something new. And before we end tonight, I would just like to do a couple thank yous. First, thank you to our PTA, dads, club, and parents. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for always trying to bring in different ideas and concerns to our community. I'd like to thank MEF for all your funding for our schools and the district. And last but not least, first and foremost, the Spring Valley staff. This is the most recent one. We don't dress like ice cream cones and bees every single day, but this was obviously on Halloween. And I just want to say thank you to the Spring Valley staff for their hard work and dedication. Without them, our school wouldn't be where it is. And last but not least, obviously the center of what we do is the students. It's a picture here of them at Red Ribbon Week. And again, our students, I still feel, are a great representative of what our Millbury students are: hardworking, enthusiastic, and most importantly, they are just so determined. So that concludes our school spotlight for tonight. So thank you.
Wow, that was wonderful. It's just so heartwarming to know that such good things are happening all over our district, and to know that you're focusing on character traits. We all get wrapped up in the academics, which are totally important, I get that. But you're really raising good people, and I think that's first and foremost, as we need more of them in this world, now especially. Anyway, I'd like to ask all the parents in this room to stand up, because we need to thank you for bringing these kids to us. Trustee comments or questions, and I'm going to go to this side. Trustee Beltrami, would you like to make a comment, or?
I just wanted to say how impressed I am with the students that presented tonight. Your speaking skills are just off the roof for your age, and I'm really looking forward to what you're going to become in future years. And yes, thank you so much. It's a great presentation.
Trustee Musa?
I know Trustee Ferrario recognized the parents, but I would also like to recognize the staff. So teachers, you guys,
Stand up, my bad. Stand up, staff.
stand
Stand up, staff. I know you're out there.
Well, first of all, Spring Valley has a special place in my heart because three of my boys went through Spring Valley and on to high school, and I'm not going to talk anymore because I don't want to age myself. So again, a great Principal Gordon, thank you for all you do, because all this hard work comes from your leadership, and that positive energy from the parents and the staff and the kids comes from you. So I appreciate all that you do. But the huge shout out is for the kids. And my focus is like, just the fact that you thought about Maui fires and the families over there, just the fact that we have our amazing 5th grade ballet. You guys rock it with your uniforms. The fact that we're just, like Lynn said, we talk about academics, but sometimes the character, empathy, all the stuff that you need to be a good human being and to make this world a better place. So all these characters are just amazing, and those are just like the foundation of every school kid. I mean, just foundation to a great future for us. So again, I just want to shout out to all the students. I mean, take this. Elementary school is kind of now that I have older kids, elementary school is a time to learn and build foundation and have fun doing it, not stress about grades and whatever it is, because it's like the foundation that makes it better. It makes you a better student moving forward when you get to middle school and high school. So I just want to, keep up the good work, guys, and great presentation again. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. It's always like the best part of our board meetings to hear the chatter of all the kids waiting outside of the room when we come in. So anyway, thank you so much, Gordon, for a wonderful presentation. Again, so many comments have already been said. The character traits are absolutely wonderful. We do want to raise good human beings, and that is first and foremost the most important thing we can do. And, kids, wow, you guys were so impressive. I can tell how much hard work and enthusiasm you guys have. And some of your memories that are your favorite memories are also some of my favorite memories, because I think we have a lot of Spring Valley parents up here. I especially love Heritage Week and all the fun stuff that we do to celebrate cultures. And just thank you, kids. Thank you for a wonderful job. Thank you, staff. Thank you, parents. And really, really good stuff.
Well, as Trustee Chin said, you have some people up here on the school board that are from Spring Valley. You have 3 parents up here that are your board members that were Spring Valley parents too. And so all 3 of us, 4 of us, I'm sorry, 4 of us. So, that says something, I think, about Spring Valley. It really does. To me, it does. It resonates. My daughters graduated from Mills High School. Spring Valley was their key to education. It was their foundation right there. And Gordon, you have a tremendous staff, tremendous parents, tremendous kids. The kids were fantastic. Loyalty, friendship is so key to success. And it's so nice to see the kids up here performing, talking, speaking to us. That's why we're here. It's for the kids. And so when they come into our room and they present to us and you present, it means so much to me. I know it means so much to my colleagues too. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you, parents. Thank you, kids, for being here. You guys were fantastic. Thank you.
And I'm going to add myself to this esteemed group up here from Spring Valley and say that I too am an honorary person from Spring Valley because I represent all the schools in Millbrae. So thank you for that. And Gordon, we didn't stand up for you, but know that your leadership is recognized, appreciated, and we're very lucky to have you. So don't go anywhere, okay? All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Superintendent Skelly, did you want to say a few words?
I'd just like to give a We5 for Mr. Wee here for his work, and all the students know what a We5 is. I guess you guys give it to him. Anyway, congratulations.
Great. And I don't know that we're taking a break at this point, but have the cookies been distributed already? Wow. You guys got lucky this time. Usually it's after the presentation. So if we wanted to take 5 minutes, so all of you, I know this is a school night and you need to get home and we don't want to keep you. So we'll take a 5-minute break and then resume. Okay? Thanks.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Okay, we're going to resume our meeting with our second presentation of this evening, Millbrae Education Fund Sparks Curiosity CAM Educational Services STEAM Program. Layla.
You good? Okay, there we are. Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, Board of Trustees, district staff, Superintendent Skelly. I almost called you Superintendent Kelly. I'm so sorry. Skelly. We have some MEF board members, some PTO representatives. Hello, Happy Hall. I know you are after me, so thank you for listening. And we have some folks from CAM Ed who have joined us this evening, as well as some of our teachers have stuck around as well. So, I am going to talk to you guys tonight about something that I'm very excited about. We are so thankful that we are here to be able to share what we've been working on since January of this year, and that has been a product of collaborative efforts that began in January, and we are hoping to see come to fruition tonight. We are hopeful that we can get all of your questions answered so that we can launch this STEAM program, MEF Sparks Curiosity, in our district in the coming weeks. So first, I want to start by talking about what is curiosity. Now, the dictionary says that curiosity is a strong desire to know or learn something. But when I think of curiosity, really, I think about my 2-year-old, right? She is in every drawer, pulling out all of the contents, looking and inspecting and seeing what's in there and how the Tupperware fits together or not. She is into markers and saying, okay, how did these write on the wall or on my seat cushions or on some cute pudgy little arms, right? She is in my makeup, seeing what it looks like on her little 2-year-old face or her toes or places where I don't want my lipstick to be. At the end of the day, she wants to know how things work, what it takes to make things happen, and what is her role in the midst of all of this in the world around her. And then when I look at the vision of the Millbrae Elementary School District and our mission and our guiding principles, curiosity is just layered throughout it. I look at our vision: to nurture emotional intelligence, promote a passion for learning, foster an innovative learning environment, connect self and learning to the world. Our mission statement and guiding principles here in Millbrae Elementary School District are to inspire our community with opportunities to learn and to thrive, commit to a shared purpose that guarantees each student a strong academic foundation, and ensure equity through access and opportunity for all. So, why am I here talking to you tonight about STEAM? STEAM programming isn't just about the individual disciplines of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. At its core, it's about integrating multiple disciplines in a way that helps students develop critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and further apply what our teachers are teaching every day. We're in the Bay Area, right? We are the cradle of innovation and technology, and I would argue that we have folks within our own community who are at the forefront of that innovation for the entire world. So as parents, as educators, and as a community, we want to make sure that all of our students have access to that STEAM curriculum, to that STEAM programming, and to that type of critical thinking and problem-solving skills that they will need to go into Taylor when they're done, Mills when they're done, to whatever school, if any, that they choose to go to, and on into the world around them. So, how did we get here tonight to talk about this particular program? As you all know, MEF exists to bring more resources and funding to our kids in the district. To do that, we collaborate with teachers, the school district, parents, and community members to identify the areas in which funding is lacking and what our schools and ultimately our students need. It's also worth noting that we meet regularly with those stakeholders to make sure that the dollars we raise are going towards an actual need identified by the experts, the actual educators. Throughout the last year, I've made sure to bring up at every time we've talked about this program to say, look, I am not in a place, Ralph has heard me say it multiple times. Our principals have heard me say it. Terry has heard me say it. I am not here as a parent to tell our teachers or our principals or even our district what to teach my kids. But if I, as the president of MEF, if I hear, hey, we want to bring this to our students, we see this need, I will raise the money and give it back to you guys. So that's exactly what we did. In January of this year, I sat down with Ralph and then Superintendent Debbie French, as well as one of our other board members, to identify a specific need to highlight during our annual gala for our Fund the Need portion, or our Fund the Future portion. Through that conversation, we heard, and then many other conversations after that, we heard about different specific school site programs that were being launched in different ways, or that were being researched, or that folks were trying to get funding for. There were STEAM labs. We heard tonight from Spring Valley about different individual STEM and STEAM programming. And we came away from that conversation and the many conversations after that saying, okay, MEF is about bringing resources to all Millbrae students, regardless of the location. And so how can we bring STEAM? Because if we're hearing it from the teachers making it happen on campus, the parents making it happen, and the district saying, we want to be able to bring that to each student in Millbrae, we came up with an idea to raise funds at our annual gala specifically for additional STEAM funding. So, last February, was it February, Jamie? During our gala, we did just that. We let folks know about this idea of MEF sparking curiosity, bringing additional STEAM programming to each, sorry, I didn't even move my slide, bring STEAM programming to each school within our district. And during that night, during the paddle raise portion of our Fund the Future section of the evening, we raised $80,000. So parents, teachers, community members, business owners, all pledged that portion just during the paddle raise towards additional STEAM programming here in the district. Throughout the course of our silent auction and our live auction and the entire gala experience, we raised close to $250,000. So we heard from the district that this was the need, right? We heard from, and we take that to mean that the district was hearing that from principals and teachers, right? Then we heard from our parents and community by way of their pledges that they supported that and they wanted to help fund that. So that brings us to February, March of this year, where the conversation started with CAMED, who is a local service provider that many of you know. How do we bring that here to each individual classroom? So through many emails, many meetings, sitting down with our principals, sitting down with Ralph, and me asking probably too many questions. And some of and Terry, again, the principals, to come up with a program that could serve each student. We sat down with the Taylor principals because, as you guys know, there's more students there and it is more complex and it's a different thing. So we wanted to make sure that we were getting all of that input so it wasn't MEF saying, hey, teachers and principals, do this. We wanted to make sure that it worked for their school site and that they had the bandwidth and that it was a way to enrich the students' day, but not add a burden to our teachers. So we wanted to make sure that we had that buy-in at the school site level, okay? We also wanted to make sure, I want to go back, I don't want to go there. Can you send me back? Okay. Okay. So we came up with an assembly approach. What do I mean by an assembly? So the way it will work if we get the funding approved or get the contract approved is that CAMED will bring in all of the supplies, and each lesson is a standalone unit. where the teachers don't have to do any additional prep or any additional research or preparation, but they will be present in the classroom with CAMED as the service provider. So the teachers can then observe what their students are learning and see it build upon and enrich what's already being done in the classroom. We also wanted to make sure that things were age appropriate because we have TK all the way up to 8th grade. And we need to be able to differentiate based on age and ability level. And so we got a list of classes from CAMED and had them kind of delineate out which are better for certain ages, which is better for the older kids, what's more complex, what's more simple, and how does that fit into each thing. We gave that list of class descriptions to our teachers and to our principals to have them look at it and see what sounds like it's going to fit for our student population at any given time. And I do want to share a few that I'm pretty excited about. Small robots, and I think Cam brought a small robot to show you tonight. So in this session, we'll be exploring the world of small robotics. Students will make simple robots out of household items with simple electronics. These will compete against other students' robots, and these students will be able to take them home. So we have some little demonstrative items. For some of our older kids, students will have the opportunity to build their own electric Tamiya car and take it home. It will give students fun and informative exposure to simple mechanical and electrical engineering. For our students that are, have an interest in the arts, there will be a 3D modeling and printing class that is available to some of our older students. There's a metaverse class where students will use VR software to create their own maze. There's one called Math Mind Mapping, where students will learn how to organize and connect mathematical concepts, problem-solving strategies, and help them better understand and remember those mathematical concepts that they're being taught every day. So those are just a few samplings of some of the types of curriculum that CAM would be able to bring to us. The question I have also been asked is, why CAMED? Why this particular service provider, and how does that meet our needs? CAMED has partnered with multiple districts in our community that are diverse, not only in their student populations, but in their needs to bring STEAM curriculum from K through 8th grade students. Schools in Pacifica and Daly City have after school and in-school programming. South San Francisco has worked with CAMED for their ELOP program. And all these districts have partnered with CAMED in a way that best fits their students' needs. And that's what we strive to do here. That's why there's been so much communication from the beginning between the district, our principals, CAMED, and our MEF board to make sure that this is tailored to not only give our students the best benefit, but to highlight CAMED's strengths in the technology sphere, where things are standalone modules, where they bring in the materials, they teach and have the oversight of our credentialed teachers to encourage and oversee what's happening in the classroom as it happens. So, next, what has already been done? Well, CAM provided the different modules that they could provide, and we shared those descriptions with the school district, with our principals, and provided them an opportunity for feedback and input on which ones would be most appropriate for their school site and their ages. We provided an opportunity for scheduling based on the school site needs and worked with the principals and CAMED to put a schedule together that is actually already ready to go. We also wanted to make sure that we implemented this program in a way that would synthesize all the information into a workable schedule on their end and on ours. They worked with us to help Ralph and his team craft a contract that outlined what things were going to cost and what it could potentially look like. And we did a little tweaking so that we made sure we were all on the same page. And then here we are. So the only thing left to do is for you guys to say yes. But really, if there are any questions that I can help answer, Cam Ed is here. But I just want to make sure that I emphasize, MEF is not here to tell you guys what to do. We're not here to tell our teachers what to do, and we're not here to tell the school district what to do. But we did hear a call for a need, and it's a need that we have heard from teachers, students, parents, and administrators to help give our students and give our children an even more enriching education than the excellent one that they're already getting. Because at the end of the day, everybody in this room is here for the good of our students. And we responded, and our parents responded by donating thousands of dollars. There have been a lot of hours put in on the logistics. And I do want to make a special shout out and thank you to Michelle Chang and Anshu Molaje. They are my board directors who are VP of Operations and Communications and have really spearheaded all of the communications and logistics conversations with Cam Ed. And I would not be here talking to you if it were not for them. So I am the pretty face and they are the brains behind the operation. So thank you, Michelle and Anshu, for your many hours of work and for getting us to where we are today. I do want to say thank you to Ralph for helping me understand what is needed to get us here, and for letting me pepper him with maybe hundreds of emails, maybe not hundreds, but lots of phone calls and hours and meetings. So thank you for your collaboration. And of course, Cam Ed, thank you for being here to help answer any questions that myself or the board might have, and for working with us to so diligently come up with a system and a program that works for our students and our school district. So that is it. How can I help?
Okay. Thank you. Your enthusiasm is very contagious, I have to say.
That's what I'm hoping
But
for.
I think our trustees have some questions. If you might entertain some questions.
Of course.
Do you want to save it for the discussion on the consent agenda?
If anyone would like to have, I know you're going to come back during district business, but would you like to entertain questions now or wait till the other end?
I was just going to wait for the discussion item, district business, because I don't want to take up too much time for a happy hall.
Got it.
I'm just
Good idea. Yeah, because wait. Oh, sure. No, thank you, Trustee Musa, for that consideration. We do have another presentation this evening, and so rather than to get into a discussion at this point, maybe we can wait until the other part of the agenda. But I think, Trustee Chin, did you want to make a comment?
Well, I just wanted to, first off, before we get into any questions, really just thank the MEF and all of the efforts. I know how much time has gone into all the fundraising and all the work that you do, and it's really helpful to have the context of how this all began, sort of, how you brought it to the district, how it was sort of a collaborative partnership, and, just really, round of applause for your efforts, as well as, the parents and the community that have come out and supported. I know STEAM has been a, priority focus area that we've talked about as a district for quite a while. So I just wanted to thank you for that before we get into a discussion on details, which I have lots of questions on the details of how it all works.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. We'll just move on to our next presentation. Let's give our MEF a round of applause. Okay. Bless you. We are so happy to bring our Happy Hall group back to our meeting. This has been a long-awaited journey, and we just can't even thank you enough for hanging in there. So we're just anxious to hear all about what's been going on. We've heard so many good things already. So Rachel, can you just give us all your information? Thank you.
I have been asked to keep it brief, so I'm going to try to get through the slides as quickly as possible, but hopefully there's lots of great information. So greetings, my name is Rachel Hecht. I'm the Executive Director at Happy Hall Schools, and we have the honor of partnering with Millbrae School District to provide expanded learning programs. So as many of you know, Happy Hall has served the Millbrae community for over 60 years, and in the late 90s, we were asked to serve as the before and after school program at both Green Hills and Meadows, and this year we are serving at all 5 schools in the district. Expanded learning. So, this is an opportunity for continuation of learning outside of the typical school day, and this typically happens before school, after school, and then during school year and summer breaks. And what it is, it's learning that focuses on academic, social, emotional, and physical development. And we do this through hands-on and engaging learning experiences. And again, we're at all 5 locations this year. And I do want to introduce a short video from our staff and students. It's only 2 minutes long.
Are you ready? And action.
All the things are my favorite here, but my most favorite part is hanging out with your friends. These are 3 things that I like about Happy Hall. My friends, teachers, and Legos. What I like about the teachers is that they take care of us, and my friends, they play with me, and for Legos, they're just really fun to play with.
The kids are so bright. They're awesome to talk to. They all have a different personality, and all the teachers are so awesome here.
My favorite theme activity is the one that we did today. We used oil pastels, and we mixed the colors to make space galaxies, and it was super fun and cool.
My name is Prince. My name's Matthew. Today we're interviewing people at Happy Hall. Let's go, let's go. What is your favorite snack at Happy Hall?
The granola bars and the yogurt drink.
What's your favorite snack at Happy Hall?
I like the yogurt drink.
What's your favorite snack at Happy Hall? Cream cheese. Agreed.
Happy Hall, our students are engaged, happy, and the staff at Happy Hall is awesome.
What do you like about Happy Hall?
Happy Hall. I love that they're helping you guys after school, getting your homework done. You guys are getting good people looking after you, and you guys enjoy it.
I like to hang out with new people at this program because I get to see them at school, but I don't really know them. But here now I know them a little bit more. And you're my best friend. Yeah, we're besties! Mr. J, what's your favorite thing about Happy Hall?
I think overall, I would say this community, this amazing students, get a part of this energetic group every day, and I just it doesn't feel like a job. It feels like home.
Thank you, Happy Hall. Thank you, Happy Hall. Thank you, Happy Hall.
Thank you, Happy Hall, for taking care of us and letting us have fun and making new friends. You were the excellent teachers.
So we had a lot of fun. You can tell they had a lot of fun creating that. All right, so now I'm going to do a brief overview of what's happening sort of at each campus. So at Green Hills, we're serving 77 students with 9 dedicated staff members, and 26 of those students are attending at no cost or a significantly reduced rate. And I briefly want to explain our attendance record at Green Hills, which is 100%. So these are students that are attending the school day that are then attending our program, and this is all attendance, and it does not include excused absences like extracurricular activities or medical appointments or something like that. So that's actually really great. Moving on to Lomita Park, we're serving 112 students with 12 dedicated staff members, and 112 students are attending at no cost, and we have an attendance rate of 99%. At Meadows, we are serving 95 students with 10 dedicated staff members. 32 of those students are attending at no cost or a reduced rate, and we have an 100% attendance rate at that location. At Spring Valley, we are supporting 89 students with 9 dedicated staff members, and 34 of those students are attending at no cost or a significantly reduced rate, and we have a 99% attendance rate there. And at Taylor Middle School, we are serving 27 students. So far, we're serving just the 6th grade students at that location. We have 3 dedicated staff members, and 17 of those students are attending at no cost or a significantly reduced rate, and we have an attendance rate of 100%. Something unique about middle school is they are only required to attend the program 3 days a week versus the other programs, which are 5 days a week, because middle schoolers tend to have more extracurricular activities. And then I'm proud to announce that district-wide, we are supporting 400 students. We have 43 dedicated staff members, and a shout out to Taylor White, our recruitment specialist, for making that happen, and we were, ready to go at the beginning of the school year. We do have 4 dedicated subs that travel among the 5 programs to ensure that they're seeing familiar faces and people that are, providing consistent care and education that aligns with Happy Hall. And of those 400 students, 221 are attending at no cost, which is the majority of that number, and with some attending at a significantly reduced rate. I also want to encourage you to go on our website if you have time and look at our teaching team. We have a really diverse staff with unique educational backgrounds, and you can read each of their bios on our teaching team page. And now I want to do a quick overview of our program components. So yoga, definitely we offer this typically in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, but it helps kids focus, learn self-awareness, and mindfulness. We also offer SEL, social-emotional learning, and this helps students to build relationships, make responsible choices, and the way we introduce this curriculum is in small groups, or you'll see Jaden here is doing a large group rally, so it just depends on the need of that particular school, but we have a lot of fun with our SEL. Movement is a favorite of the students, so we get the kids moving, which obviously is great for their physical health, coordination, and then building camaraderie and team spirit. And we also offer STEAM, and so kids get to, this is where they get to do the most hands-on learning, as well as explore their creativity and problem solving. That sort of thinking happens with these activities. And parents and teachers' favorite component of our program is the homework support. So we really do spend a lot of time ensuring that students are understanding and completing their homework. I will say that our staff does go above and beyond even what we promise, which is meeting with school teachers and really taking the time to research to understand that kids are getting the support they need in this area. And then it's great for parents not to have to worry about that at the dinner table, and they can go home and hopefully have a peaceful evening with the kids. So this is great. And lastly, our last component is our special events. And so this is going to be community service projects, school-wide things, cultural and diverse activities. And so what you're seeing here is the 4th and 5th graders at Spring Valley and Lomita Park. They created trick-or-treat stations, similar to like a trunk or treat. And what's important about that is engaging older students in leadership and having the younger students sort of learn from that. So that's been a lot of fun. And I know that our directors are looking forward to implementing a lot more of these special events going forward. So looking forward, not only do we offer the before and after school programs, but we have partnered with the Millbrae School District to provide full day programs. And so we are gonna be offering that during winter, spring, as well as summer. And it's gonna be a whole new curriculum, and we're also gonna bring in special activities like soccer, additional yoga, and other fun activities. And so we will share more about that once all those details are finalized. And then I do want to wrap this up with just sharing some lovely words from our Millbrae partners. So you can see here that Erin, principal at Taylor, has shared that she likes that our staff is kind, caring, and compassionate. Mr. Walker, a 6th grade teacher at Taylor, says that he loves how long we've served the community. Mr. Pineda, also a 6th grade teacher, says that he loves knowing that the students are working on their homework and getting the support they need. And he also mentioned, I didn't know this, that he used to attend Happy Hall as a kid, as did I. And then we've got some shout outs from Meadows. We've got Ms. Cody, who says that the students getting support in our program, it's impacting their academics performance, which includes reading, writing, and math skills. Let's see, and then we've got Ms. Martin, who says that these students are enthused to come to Happy Hall and that she appreciates our dedication to both the students and Meadows. I also want to mention that our Happy Hall directors wanted to express a huge thank you to the office staff and the teachers of each of the locations. Basically, they said that the staff has been extremely supportive, caring, and awesome to work with. And additionally, I want to express my gratitude to our partners at the district, as well as the board members, for making our mission a reality and allowing us to serve Millbrae. Thank you so much.
I just want to say I'm so happy that this has come to a reality and that you're in all of our schools, because you're carrying this, your staff is so well prepared. What you do for our kids is unbelievable, and we're so lucky to have you. I'm just so happy that you're in all of our schools. So thank you for all you're doing and all you're continuing to do in the future with winter camps. I'm sure there's going to be a spring camp, and keeping it really fun for the kids. So thank you, Rachel, and thank you to that whole staff back there. They are amazing. Give yourselves a round of applause. Do we want to wait for questions? Comment? Sure. Trustee Musa?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for your patience. You've been amazing. This whole contract process has been going on for months and months, and trying to work out every detail and scheduling and all the stuff. So I do appreciate your patience and all the hard work that you've done. So again, I'm glad it finally, the contract, it's been, 6 months that we've been working on that to actually come here for approval. So again, thank you for that.
I echo that too, because I know that you guys have been patiently waiting, but I really just, everything that your program embodies are a lot of the character traits that we just saw at Spring Valley: the loyalty, the friendship, the hard work, the enthusiasm, and it's been super fun. And you could tell the kids are really enjoying themselves. And so thank you for that. I just had a question though on data. I know I always talk about data, but it seems like there's so many great outcomes that are happening, and it would be wonderful to be able to track that. I don't know if you guys do and how many times we do that, but if it was maybe a couple of times a year, it'd be wonderful. I know we talk about the achievement gap. It looks like these kids are really getting a lot of support. Your ratios in terms of staff to students seems a lot lower than what's actually the bare minimum. It sounds like you're sort of at almost 8 to 10 to 1 instead of the mandated 20 plus to 1 or whatever it is. So, I just would love to be able to see what you guys do from that standpoint and really show the impact of the good work that you guys are doing. I don't know if you guys do that.
We do. So we will survey the administrators, the teachers on the school site, the students, and actually we've started this week, as well as the parents 4 times per year. So I want to say we do that in November, January, February, and May. And then we will make sure to share those results with the district, as we have in the past with our after-school programs at the other 3 sites. And I did want to mention, because I know the ratios look great, we're typically doing a 1 to 14 to a 1 to 16. And so what you're seeing with the dedicated staff members is there is, on the rare occasion that somebody will do a job share. So somebody's working 2 days and somebody's working the 3 days, but also we staff that way because we know that, teachers have things that come up and they get, sick just as much as our students do. So that's where some of those numbers come in. Yes, absolutely.
I'm really happy of everything that I've heard so far in your presentations and all the work. As our trustees have said, there was a lot of work that your team and you put into this. And so I really appreciate that. And at the end of all of this, I see and I feel it. So I just wanted to share that with you. So good luck, and I know you guys are going to rock solid, so good luck.
Thank you again for the opportunity. We're really thrilled to be partnering with you guys.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you, staff. Okay, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Great. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Perfect. Okay, now we're moving on to district business. And this is going to go right after our lovely presentation from Happy Hall. It's the approval of ELOP agreement, Happy Hall Schools, and it's recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the independent contractor services agreement with Happy Hall for the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program as presented. So, did you want to?
We're happy to bring this. I know this was a lot of work from Ralph's side. I know that at moments it was a little frustrating for you guys, but we worked through it in a really good way, and I think we end up with a contract that you will not be doing this every year, hopefully. So we're delighted to have this, and a lot of the issues that came up, are one-offs that we won't have to deal with in the future. So we enthusiastically recommend this to you.
We want that in writing, Superintendent Skelly. Right, Rachel? We want it in writing, yes. Okay, are we ready to vote? Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second. Okay.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Never. Okay, motion carries. Congratulations.
Trustee Ferriaro, we want to go next to the CAM-Ed one that we took off consent.
Okay, let's go to, that's number,
Number 3 on the consent that's been moved to the.
okay. Okay. All right, so CAM-Ed, we have, I don't have it in my updated. Did you want to introduce that?
It's just under number 3, but remember we moved it from consent to discuss here. So you just need to take action now.
Okay, so we're going to take action on the acceptance of the agreement with trustees. We're going to take action on the agreement with CAM-Ed for the STEAM proposal. And do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And we'll have discussion now before we vote. So is there anyone that would like to start the discussion? Trustee Beltrami?
I just have a quick question. So it's going to be 8 60-minute sessions, and I was just wondering, what's the time frame for the delivery of that? Is that going to be weekly, monthly? I mean, how's that going to be? Yeah, why don't you come to think? Thank you.
Of course. And first of all, just thank you for having us here. We appreciate the opportunity to serve Millbrae kids again. So for the 60 minutes, it's going to be throughout the rest of the school year, the 2023-24 school year. So our plan is going to be go visiting a different school on a specific day every week. So for example, Friday we'll be going to Spring Valley. Every Friday we'll be hosting classes there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure, I can. Okay. I have a lot of questions, but so I agree. STEAM is something that we want to bring into the classroom. Everything you said, Layla, I agree with everything you said. Now, as you can see, the Happy Hall took us months and months to work at the details. The thing is, you've been working on this since January. This is the first time that we've heard of it. So for us as a board to approve a contract, it would have been nice for us to have a discussion, a couple of meetings, to have because you're taking away instructional minutes in the classroom. So to me, I would think the board would have had a more of a part of that discussion because none of us really have heard of it. So again, I'm not saying no to the program, but I think as a contract, for me to approve it, I need more details. I need how it's going to work within the classroom, and I need just more clarification. So I'm not saying no to this contract. I'm just saying let's just delay it a little bit, work out of a more detailed contract that I can read it and say, yes, I can. And then, and my other question is, CAM-Ed, I want to know who your teachers are, their qualifications. You're working with our students. So I know we had issues with our after-school program at Lamina Park, but at least in Happy Hall, I know the teachers are qualified, they're hired, they're in the classroom. I just need more detail in that, and not just give it to me now. I need it on a contract for me to read. So those are my thoughts right now.
Can I address a few of them? Just, is this an appropriate time to answer? Okay. So one thing I want to make sure I address is the concern about taking away instructional minutes. That was something that Terry Brenner brought up as soon as we started meeting about it. And the way that, why we call it a assembly model is with that in mind. We know that there is some flexibility in each day for different school sites across the entire school year. That's why it is limited to these kind of standalone modules so that we aren't taking away instructional minutes and that it is an enrichment above and beyond what they're already doing. That is why we met with the principals and said, hey, once we heard that from Terry, we met with the principals and said, hey, we want to make sure that we're not taking away instructional minutes. Julie DeMaio made sure that she expressed that concern and we addressed it. We have the detailed schedule in a Google spreadsheet, if that is something that would be beneficial tonight, that I can provide for you tonight. As well as, there was another, one of the reasons that Kim Ed was part of the discussion from the beginning is because we knew that they had gone through the approval process to work with the district through the after-school program. So they had the appropriate vetting at that level. They had the appropriate insurance vetting, and it seemed at the time, especially when we were talking about it, that it was a great fit because they had already gone through that qualification process and were already approved to work within our school district and to, meet that certain criteria. So I want to make sure, Trustee Musa, that you understand that those were all put into consideration, and that was part of the discussion to make sure the insurance requirements were there and that level of vetting had been done prior to them being brought on as a potential partner.
Go ahead, Maggie. No. Layla, again, I appreciate everything you do, but it would have been really nice to get that presentation. I wish Terry was here because she's a director of curriculum, and I think she should have been part of the discussion. I just don't know why she's not here. Again, those are things that for me to, for us to kind of,
She was part of that discussion, and Ralph was part of that discussion as well.
Okay, I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I have to say on Terry's behalf, she had a family emergency that took her away from the rest of this meeting. So she got a phone call earlier.
I think just to kind of piggyback on Trustee Musa's question about how this came to fruition, our protocol has been in the past that it usually goes to the district, the superintendent, and I know we don't have our superintendent here, and to the curriculum director, and it usually goes to a general meeting with all of us. We usually meet several times during the year, and we hear all of the ideas that, is it STEAM that we want? Is it, we're interested in math coaches. I know that has been a question, math coaches. One of my questions was the fact that this is a huge hit to the MEF budget. And I'm just wondering how that affects some of the other programs that we've been having MEF subsidize.
So that it doesn't affect anything that we've previously provided. That was part of our conversation with the district early on because we wanted to make sure that it wasn't impacted. So Taylor Music Program, we still fund that teacher. La Garza, we made sure before we made this proposal that all of those things were still intact.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
The thing that is, where that wiggle room is, in addition to the total 650 check that we got, is that there had been money carved out previously, and Ralph can correct me if I'm wrong, for a math specialist, but that had never gone filled. And so we had the extra space with the additional funds that we raised this year, and that bringing that over because it had never been filled to come up to get to that 220 number. So La Garza still funded, Taylor Music still funded, Reading Specialist still funded. So
Perfect.
it does not impact the current bucket of funds from MEF.
Great.
Great question.
Yeah. And the other question I had is In terms of scheduling, Trustee Beltrami mentioned about it's so many, you'd have one day at each of the sites. Okay, we have 5 schools. So who determines whether one school has Wednesday, which is a early release day, and one school has Monday, which is holidays, and another school has, these are all things that we run into issues with in scheduling for La Garza, all of our programs. So that would be something that I would think would need to be equitably, considered, so that not every school would be, so that one school would not be the one all throughout the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, in terms of substitutes, I know staffing at CAM will get, so how do they handle substitutes going in? And are those folks as prepared to carry on these projects or these presentations?
Sure. I can answer the first question. I can't answer the second question, but Cam might be able to. So in terms of the scheduling, what we did was we sent a sign up basically to the school sites and said, here, you get X amount of hours. Here are the dates that are potentially available to you. And they signed up based on what their schedule was and what their availability was. We then sent that to Andrew at CAM, and he helped us tweak it to make sure that it fit with their teaching availability that they know, and then we sent it back to the schools. So we've already created the schedule so that it is equitable and addresses all of the issues that you've brought up. That is what I have a spreadsheet of that I can share with the district or with the board tonight. In terms of the staffing and the substitutes, I'm gonna let Cam answer that.
Okay, great.
In terms of staffing, we have right now more than enough to support the schedule that we have put forth. And because we're operating other programs at other districts as well, so we have floaters, like substitute floaters that are familiar with the tech program that can come in in case someone is out sick or something like that.
Great. And what are the qualifications for these, for the staff? I know at Happy Hall, there are teachers, many of them have degrees and advanced degrees. And so I'm just wondering what
Yeah, absolutely. All our teachers are college graduate and above, and a lot of them actually hold master's degree in like related field in education or social work, so they're familiar with working with children. So that's kind of the background that we have for our staff.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
I'm going to pass it on to Trustee Chin. Go ahead, Trustee Barbaro.
So what I've heard is stakeholders were collaborating through this whole process. And that's the thing that I really feel comfortable with, is everything was vetted. Collaboration was at its highest point, I feel it was. Stakeholders were involved in all of it. And so I like the due diligence that was presented to me tonight, so I feel real comfortable with it.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. I kind of was very comforted by the amount of collaboration. I had no real sense of it until hearing that presentation by you, Layla. I think it was a little bit surprising to hear about it kind of late in the game, but it didn't mean that the work didn't happen. So I think that was, a real positive for me. I do still have questions as to exactly how that will work. I'm glad to hear that there is a schedule. Because I see on here, principals will work with their teachers to determine the schedule of classes. So it's kind of like, wait, is it done? Is it baked? Is it half-baked? Okay, so that's good to know, because it.
The buzzer has sounded.
Okay, and I guess I was just kind of curious, like when you say it's an assembly approach, are they all going into, or you're going into each classroom and all 60 kids or 70 kids in the grade go into one classroom, or are you doing each classroom at a time? How does that work, and are you providing all the supplies and materials?
Yes, so we are going into each classroom, and our class size is about 25, depending on the class size of the class, of course. But our plan is to go into each classroom, provide that 1 hour session, and then move on to the next one.
Okay, so you will be hitting it classroom by classroom?
Exactly, yes.
So it's an assembly as in like you're just coming in, bringing all this stuff?
Correct.
Okay,
And we
and
bring
then
all the
you,
supplies and everything for that.
okay. And so all the modules, it sounds like you have already put in place and that the teachers and the classes have sort of picked the modules that they want?
Right.
Okay, and these are all sort of modules that you've done in other after-school, summer
Exactly.
camp, or other schools, right?
Right, exactly. So like the program tech program that we have operated during our own summer camp and also like last year during our ELO partnership with the district. Because we do offer that technology program. And that's something that we are fairly familiar with. We have been working with other districts on the same kind of topics. And we have designed it in a way where it's very age appropriate. So because we're covering TK through 8, like Layla mentioned earlier. So we are developing multiple different kind of lesson plan for the appropriate age group.
Okay. And I'm a numbers gal, but what does it sort of come out to be like per student, per class? Is it like, I calculated something around like $10 to $15 per student, or what are you sort of coming up with?
Per student, per hour,
Per session? You got something similar? Okay, I did it like really quick while we were here, so I'm like, I probably forgot something. Okay, so then my only question is if we end up delaying for whatever reason, if we have to modify the schedule and we aren't able to get all 8, then I would like to modify the contract. If we are to delay, right? So if we're only providing 6 classes or 6 sessions because we delay, then clearly we're not getting the same, you know what I mean? The way that the contract is written now is it's the entire amount, and I don't know how that would work because we'd have to change the start date and we'd have to change the amount. Or, we could go monthly or by session, I don't know. But anyway, that's my concern. If we are to delay, then we'd need to modify it based upon, prorating.
I will say that any further delay would put the teachers at a disadvantage because if the sooner they get the schedule, the sooner they can incorporate these lessons within their curriculum. So there isn't a loss of instructional time. And this is actually an enhancement of their lessons that they are providing.
Trustee Barbaro.
Yeah, just a comment. So what I've heard tonight is I hear experience from your end, and I hear inexperience from our end, because this is new to us. And so that's the way I feel that I'm hearing from everybody. It is new to us. But I feel comfortable because you're experienced. We're not experienced. This is brand new to us. This is sort of like our pilot. I feel it is. It's my feeling it is. Sort of like our pilot. So I feel more comfortable hearing your experience. And you've done this before. So you have the models.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe I could weigh in just here, and I'm really late to this party, and maybe you feel the same way like you are. But I will say that coming into the district, there's work that I think the district office needs to do in terms of coordinating fundraising efforts, building in equity. This is not, it sort of tails out of school, but we were going to bring you that fundraising issue or fundraising board policy. I think I even shared it with you earlier. And there was an interest from the PTO and the MEF to hold off on that policy so we could have some more discussions. It felt innocuous to me, but it signaled to me at least that we've got some work to do around this communication and this work. And I think that's district office staff work. The other piece, is around just making sure that schools in their enthusiasm, parents in their enthusiasm to do things, don't, get ahead of the district office or our capacity to support them. In the olden days, that was when everybody wanted to give you old PCs that weren't working, and you had, those technology pieces. But now it takes a form of sometimes equipment for the school that doesn't match technology still, or we've got an issue, we try not to talk about all these things, but around outdoor basketball hoops that we've then got to install that were given to the school and stuff. So my thought is that tonight you approve this. We've had some discussions with the PTO. It's on the agenda, I think, at the last about a future board meeting, but in December to have the PTO, your parent organizations come and speak at that agenda item, so we can at least start getting some, better communication on this. Because I do think that fundamentally this is an issue where you feel out of the loop, and that falls on staff to make sure. We're going to do some debriefing about that tomorrow. But I would hope you'd approve this tonight. Our kids and teachers are counting.
Yeah, I mean, I do appreciate in the past, and I probably was an offender of this as a PTA person at a school. We just raised funds and we brought in our own programs, and we were like, what's the problem? I think Claire was probably there, and I was like, why? I don't understand. So I understand being on both sides of this now, how we have to have, really involve the district in terms of making sure that it fits with the curriculum, our LCAP, and so on and so forth. But it does sound like you checked those boxes. So that's really what gave me a lot of comfort. The one thing that I was going to say, I think, is really just contractually, when you talk about a pilot, that's how we sort of thought about, like, when we first brought in La Garza, we didn't do it widespread, and we said, okay, it's a pilot. Let's see if it works, like, before we go crazy on this and really sort of keep bringing it, to another level. I'll be totally honest, Cam. You had mixed, I know Cam's not here, but there was very mixed, reviews in terms of the performance at the ELOP last year. The staffing was not what we were promised. The program was not what we were promised. And I think that's part of our concerns with what's kind of giving, I think, our board a little bit of pause. I feel comfortable that these modules are well vetted. I'm still a little concerned about staff personally. I do like the idea of a pilot. I don't know how we sort of structure this. Like, I know that, if it's not going well, we have the ability to terminate. I just want to make sure that we are, really making sure that we are enjoying this experience, that it's working for teachers, for students, for everybody, and that we're constantly getting that feedback very quickly. Because I'll tell you that feedback was coming for Lomita last year, and nothing was getting changed. And we never signed a contract ultimately, because none of those things got addressed. That is my one concern, but I do know we have a termination clause, so it's really up to the district, from my point of view, in terms of making sure we're on top of it. I'm comfortable with where we are in terms of signing at this point, as long as there's some comfort around that.
Yes, Trustee Chin, you're right. There is a termination clause in there if we so choose. And what we can do as staff is we can touch base with the teachers, because teachers are going to be in the classroom with Cam. And so we can get feedback from the teachers sooner rather than later, and we can see how it's going. And we can even have a report back in a board meeting in a month or whenever you so choose. We can come back with a report on how things are going and with feedback from the teachers after the first few sessions.
The concept of it being a pilot, sorry. Sure. I love that you use that language, because that's exactly how we have talked about it, and that this is a one-time ask for now, because we ultimately don't know because I don't have a crystal ball, right? We have planned, and we have asked questions, and we have engaged the district and stakeholders every step of the way. But at the end of the day, I don't have a crystal ball on exactly what is going to transpire between now and May. And so we're not asking for a long-term contract. It is for this year. And we absolutely have contemplated it as a pilot. Is this a way we can spark curiosity with our students, with our staff, and get people thinking? Like, I hear you say, STEAM programming is something that this board has been looking to try and bring to the district. And this is a way that we can say, okay, what does this taste look like for our students, and that's all that we are asking, is to give an opportunity for that taste, for that spark, to see what comes of it. If there are tweaks or adjustments that need to be made, I have no doubt that that communication will happen, and that's why the teachers are going to be in the classroom, to Ralph's point. And ultimately, I'm going to have to come back and talk to you guys about it later. So if there are negative things that we have to have family conversation and family business about, I am the one at the table having that conversation with you alongside Cam. So that's not lost on me, right? And I want to make sure that you guys know that I will be keeping updated, but continuing to bug Ralph and the teachers and Cam about how it's going, because our name is on it as well.
I just had another comment. You know, I know you're prepared to start, I guess, at Lamita Park next week or whatever. You know, we're right on top of Thanksgiving. And then we break for winter. And it seems like we're stop, go, a couple of days this week, you know, would it be more advantageous to start after the first of the year? Is there some magic number that says we have to start now?
I mean, the magic number is that, to Ralph's point, like our teachers have had input on this schedule and have asked for these specific days. So we are building, that is all contemplated in the schedule that has been put together, because when you get into the spring and when you get into trying to get things done during the spring, you run into state testing, you run into what 8th graders are trying to do to make sure they go to and have all the requirements done for whatever high school they're looking to go to. You have the 6th graders getting ready for accelerated math testing. And so we want to make sure that we get it started sooner rather than later, so that as many students as possible, as soon as possible, can take advantage of the program. And so dollars and time aren't wasted, because if we don't start until the spring semester, then we will be leaving money on the table, quite frankly, because we will have fewer sessions, and we will have to go completely back to the drawing board when it comes to the scheduling.
Yeah. I mean, you made a very good comment. You got spring, you got the holidays and stuff, and there's going to be a lot of break, there's going to be days where you're not going to be able to do the STEAM program because their kids are going to be busy with other stuff. So I'm just going to propose this. And for us, because, we have, signing contracts for us is not easy. Our name's put on it, and anything that, it comes back to bite us. We're the board here. They're not going to come in after Layla or the MEF. It's the board that takes that responsibility. So I'm going to just put this out there. We worked with Happy Hall. They've been in the classroom for months before we tonight just finally signed the contract. I'm not saying to stop the program. I'm just saying things for us to think about, for us to have a discussion on the board. We never, as a board, ever discussed it of like Trustee Fryer said, we have been talking about coaching. There's issues that are going on at Lamita Park that need to be addressed. There's so many issues that are happening. But again, this is another issue that we want to deal with. So recommendation is, it is a lot of money, $220,000 that we can use that for, a lot of kids that in the Happy Hall programs that really need it. Modify I think I would feel comfortable, since we are going to use the pilot. You have January in 2 weeks, you got time off, you got December, kids are not, it's just going to be, we got holiday parties, we got events going on. I'm just saying, bring us a contract with details, information, scheduling. I don't want this to be like the music where you pull out. I want a set schedule. We set our schedule for the rest of the year. Again, add it into the contract, and for us to look at it for the next week. You can implement, if you want to start this program, you go ahead and do that. We can always, we worked with Happy Hall 3 months without a contract. We can do the same thing here.
Sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, so I'm just saying, I'm proposing, if you want my yes vote tonight or whenever, give me time and give us more information for me to give you the yes vote. Because I'm not saying no to it, I'm just saying I need to be comfortable to say yes.
I want to make sure that I completely understand you. If we can start next week without a yes vote in the classroom during the school day, knowing that you may change your mind, is that something that you are willing to, if you don't get the level of certainty that you want, is that what you are saying, that we can on November the 14th start? That's what I heard.
For,
That was
it's,
bad.
it's
That's a
not,
bad idea,
but this is,
but still.
So we have a motion, and a second.
but
Okay.
it's not, but then this whole process wasn't proper either. So again, you know, for me, you know, starting a program in November is, to me, for us as a board, we always say the PTAs, PTOs, any events, we set the schedule in June for the next year. So it's day one, we already know what's going to happen for the year. And again, I don't want this to become our PTAs and PTS to come and say, oh, we're going to do this middle of the year. Oh, in January, we're going to do this. I want to keep our process. There's policies and process. And Leila, I'm not trying to be difficult.
I know.
I'm just saying, for us to move forward as a board, I mean, we have been lacking in terms of the steps that we take, how we move forward. And as a board, we take the brunt of it. So I'm just saying, for us to cover our bases and us feeling comfortable. And again, I do have issues with Camp Ed, and then there's some issues that we need to work out and make sure that we get the right answers that we're looking for. And so those are my concerns.
Yeah, I totally hear you, Trustee Musa. I do want to be very clear that the dates are pre-picked. The dates are picked out, so there's no additional scheduling or logistics at this point. Anshu, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm going to eat crow later, but I don't believe that there's any additional dates that need to be worked out. I completely hear and understand the board's concerns. I wish that I had known sooner the level of detail that you guys want and need to do this, right? I thought that we were doing our due diligence by meeting with the folks that we needed to since January.
You did.
So
You did.
I have to say I am frustrated. And so if, like, we need, our PTOs and PTAs and MEF need a level of communication, quite frankly, from you guys about what you need from us when we are bringing things for our children to you. Because you have heard me talk about this program at every time I have spoken in front of this board.
I just wanted to add that I feel that this is a lack of communication as opposed to structures in this program that's being presented tonight. And I feel that having the presentation and seeing that this has been a joint effort with teachers and principals and that these dates have all been worked out, I understand where Trustee Musa's coming from with the lack of communication prior to tonight, but I feel that it would be a disappointment to our staff that have put so many hours into this contract not to approve it at this point. I just feel like the communication pieces need to be noted so that this doesn't happen in prior going forward. But I really feel like there's been a lot of effort and dedication has been put into this. So I don't want to see this, I don't want to see a disappointed school next week because this isn't going to be happening. And I know that having them start without a contract is not a good idea at all. We do not want to have people in our schools without a contract.
As a recovering lawyer, I agree. I get it. I totally understand that.
So I know that that's not really an option that we're going for right here. So I feel like I think the communication piece is where this passion's coming from, and I feel that we need to work to improve the communication.
Well, I don't know where we start with that, and it's not here, it's not there, it's together with our district office, our board, and our foundation. And somewhere along the line, something was left out because we had no idea anything about this. I swear.
I believe you, Lynn.
Nothing came to us at all. And this is November. We could have started this conversation in September. August. The kids you've been talking about this for a year? I mean, that just floors me, right? And so that really doesn't sit well. And I'm not saying you, I'm not saying us, it's together. We need to make a better decision. as to how we're going to pass items. We're not in I know what STEAM is. I mean, this is not foreign to me at all. I mean, we have schools that have started their own labs. Lamita Park spent $55,000 from the Peninsula Chinese Business Association to start their own little bitty room up there. God bless Kathy Zavaleta, who started that. So this is not foreign. But I just think that, and I agree with Trustee Beltrami. Yeah, it's totally a lack of, communication. But this is where we come in, this is where we're not building bridges any longer.
Well, I guess I feel like since I'm the new trustee on the block here, I'm dealing with this learning on my feet. So to me, I guess since I started in September, I feel like I didn't have the privilege of January hearing what was going on. So I guess when I'm looking through it through my lens, I'm catching up on so many things that this contract is just one other thing that I'm still just new to catching up on. So I don't have that history as other board members do, where you feel more it should have been brought up sooner to you, whereas to me, I'm just getting all this now.
Sure.
So I guess my lens is a little bit different than yours, but I really do feel that this is a solid contract. I trust the people who have been working on it, and I think we need to go ahead and approve it so that we can bring this program into the kids and get that curiosity sparked. Because I think this is going to be a great learning opportunity for the students in the way that you've worked this out as short modules where teachers are present and able to see what's happening and maybe even use some of those models when they go forward with their own STEM lessons. I think it'll be a wonderful learning opportunity, not for just the students, but for everyone involved. And I'd love to come and watch some of these lessons too.
Great.
Trustee Jen.
Yeah, I agree with you, Claire, and from the standpoint of I don't want to make the teachers and the students wait, and I don't want to have to come back and have a modified contract at this point, because I feel like the issue really was not with specifically the work that was done, but more on the communication, as already stated. I really wish we could start without a contract to be able to appease, I think, some of the other concerns that are in the room, but I'm also comforted by the fact that two things. One, we have a termination clause that's very easy to implement if things are not going well. And I think Ralph has given me comfort that he will come back to us with any sort of feedback that if it's not going well, that we can terminate. So might as well start, and we can terminate by Christmas, in my opinion. That's my
And the
2 cents.
communication has to start now. So if we are to exercise any kind of termination clause, we have to hear from everybody. So it's not just, a word of mouth that someone says, oh, it's great, it's great, it's great. We want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Survey or something, yeah.
Actual data.
We'll speak with the principals and we'll get the staff involved and we'll get some feedback through that modem.
Trustee Barbara.
So, again, the collaboration, and the piece of, right now, the piece about if it's not working out or if it has to be tweaked, I love that. That gives me even more security right now, because there's going to be communication, it's going to be open. So everything that needs to be tweaked, everything that needs to be improved, we're all going to know about it now.
Yeah.
That's what I feel really comfortable about.
I will be at Lomita Park drop-off on Tuesday to make sure that nothing has burned down and that we're all okay.
I don't want to take anything away from the kids and the teachers. And if they're looking forward to it, I'm not going to be the one to stop that. I don't want to be the one that's going to be like, it's Trustee Musa. And it's on TV and everybody can replay it.
I know. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
But you understand our concerns.
100%.
And we want the best for kids. We want
I
the
know you
kids
do.
to have the best experience. And again, I would love for you to share the scheduling information.
Absolutely.
So for us to have a background, I mean, on the days, like if I'm free, I would love to call Dr. Skelly to take me on a tour with the kids and see it happen. Again, we are excited. We're happy that Lamita Park and Meadows have their STEAM program. And that's what we want. And so that's what we're, but again, it's just, it takes time.
I appreciate that you guys are in the hot seat. I get it. I totally understand and hear your concerns, and I want to make sure that we're a good partner, right? So this has, if anything, this has been a very, like I said, this has been family business, and I appreciate it because we've put everything on the table about what you guys need from us, what we need from you guys, and that we're all kind of walking in with eyes a little more wide open on knowing how we can continue to be good partners, because at the end of the day, we are all here for the good of our kids, and we are not here to, we are not here to stop anyone in this room from doing that. And I appreciate your feedback and your concerns. I would be concerned if there weren't any questions and if you weren't making sure that due diligence was being done. So I want to make sure that I do articulate and voice that as well. So thank you, guys.
It's our fiduciary responsibility.
Listen, I am no stranger
the buck
to a hot
stops
seat.
around here, right?
Exactly. I'm no stranger to a hot seat, and I'm happy that we're able to have an open and frank and honest conversation about it. So thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We have a second. We're going to bring it to a vote. Do we have to take an individual vote? Okay. Trustee Barbara?
Aye.
Trustee Chin? Trustee Musa?
Aye.
Trustee Beltrami?
Aye.
Trustee Ferrario? Aye. You got it. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Moving right along. Yeah. Approval of weatherproofing technologies incorporated gutters, a replacement and restoration quote. Ralph?
Yes, thank you, President Ferrario. So this is something I'm really excited to bring forward because when I first was hired almost 2 years ago, when I did my walkarounds, I noticed our gutters. Our gutters at our portables, our gutters on all of our buildings, and I noticed that they were rusted out. And then during the rainy season, you notice it even more because they're just flowing off of the roof like the gutters didn't even exist. So I'm finally glad we got to this point. We've been working with Tremco for a inspection of all our roofs, and with that inspection, we have this proposal to get all of the gutters either replaced if needed or repaired as needed. So when they're done with this project, hopefully they can finish this before the rainy season. Hopefully it stays off a little bit more. I know we've had some rain, but hopefully it's not a lot. Hopefully we can get it cleared up and taken care of so the students and staff aren't dodging the water coming off of the roofs as they enter and exit the classrooms.
Great. Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Good job. Every day I go to Meadows and I see that big gutter right there by their main office, and I think, oh my goodness, it's like rusted open. So yes, they need to be replaced.
Yes, thank you.
No more Band-Aids, right?
No more Band-Aids. We're going to replace them and we're going to repair them the appropriate way.
Right. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, then we're going to go on to item 3, Lamita Park Portable. I think that's Mr. Crane. Are you going to talk to us about that?
Yes, President Ferraro, I am. So this is a proposal to bring a portable classroom to the Lamita Park campus. We all know that they are lacking adequate space for their programming. If we didn't have the auxiliary programming like music and STEAM and ELOP, we might have enough space for everybody within the building, but we don't. So this proposal is to put a portable classroom on the edge of the property in the corner where I believe, some of you might remember, there was a portable there in the past. So this is bringing a portable back to that location and giving the site some options. I have some ideas, but I want the site and the principal to actually decide what will go in there. But my thought is it could be shared with 3 potential programs. It could be the music program. So the music program is not next to another classroom and disturbing classes when music is happening. It could be the STEAM lab as well. So the STEAM lab can come off of the stage and out of the little room, and so they could have an adequate classroom. Or the music classroom could move out to the portable and the STEAM lab can move into where the music classroom is. So it just creates some options, and then it also creates an adequate space for ELOP. As you saw the numbers from the presentation today from Happy Hall, they're serving a lot of students at Alameda Park, and they need more space as well. So this would give them an appropriate classroom to use and a home base for their programming after school. It's not the only space they will use, but it'll give them more space to spread out and use. And some of the funding can be used from the ELOP. So we can divide up the time once we see what programs are in there, and we can use a percentage of that time that ELOP's in there, and we can charge a percentage of the cost to the ELOP grant that we have.
Okay. This is an action item. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Great. Second?
Second.
And how about some discussion? Any discussion on this?
The only thing I should say, sorry, I should have said the earlier discussion part would be you're approving an estimated cost. So once this gets approved, then we work with vendors and we get lower bids for some of the construction if needed. So you're looking at what I'm hoping is a max cost. You're also seeing a contingency of $10,000 built in, that if that contingency isn't used, that's $10,000 off of that cost as well. So you're looking at having to trench. There is a Christie box that's there, so if we are able to use the existing Christie box and it's still viable, that would reduce some of the costs as well. But once you approve this, then we could start exploring into reducing the costs for the project if it's approved.
I feel it's, President Ferrari? Okay.
Sure.
I feel it's really important that site has a say in what that building's going to be used for. Being at that school site, there's always going to be noise involved. If you even move the STEAM lab into the music room right now, there's going to be more noise with the STEAM lab there. It's just those classrooms are module walls that aren't very soundproof. But I really feel like it's important that the site makes that final decision on what's going to be used at how they use the portable space.
Absolutely. I'm just giving suggestions, and Dr. Malatesta and the staff will have to make the final determination of what's being offered and how that space is being utilized.
Right, because I feel like Alameda Park probably needs 2 or 3 portables in order to fit everything that's going on in the school site. So I really feel that we need to make sure that we're getting that in the opinions of the staff. So it's the best use of the space.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sorry, just, can we clarify? So it's $25,000 that we're approving tonight, which is a one-time for the designs and plans or whatever, and then 216 is the estimate to install it, correct? And then there's a monthly fee. Can you just make, maybe I missed it. I just want to make sure I know what I'm approving.
Absolutely. What you're approving is this estimated cost and moving forward with the architect, which is PBK Architecture Firm, and that's a $25,000 fee. It is $1,203 a month for the rental. So in this $216,000 cost is the cost of 2 years worth of leasing of this portable.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So what's the total, what's the one time and what's the, now I'm more confused.
So the leasing comes to about $28,000, and then all of the other costs are the soft costs associated with the architect for taking us through the DSA process, the hooking up of electricity, all the power, the cabling for the networking, fire, and security systems, and then also making sure we have appropriate DSA pathway. There is some potential. We may have to widen one of the pathways where the concrete is to make sure that it has a 5-foot clearance across the building. And then it's also the cost of trenching if we have to trench from the transformer all the way to the portable. So it is the max price that you're going to see on this project. We've included everything from past experience. We try and include everything in these proposals to make sure that you're not getting surprised at the end of the day, because I don't want to be surprised with additional costs as well.
So the 216 is all in for 2 years, all in, all one time, all leasing costs, and no DSA surprises? Or we can't guarantee that?
I can't promise DSA surprises, but when we took the shade structure at Alameda Park through DSA, we had a fairly smooth process because that site is fairly flat. So there aren't many slopes that are going to be out of compliance for DSA appropriate pathways.
Okay, but the 216 is all in, including leasing and one-time design, everything.
216 will be all in, including a 2-year lease.
Got it. Thank you.
So what happens after 2 years?
After 2 years, we can either extend the lease at $1,203 a month, or we can have it removed at a minimal cost.
So I know the last time we talked about portable, we were thinking, does it have a bathroom?
It does not have a bathroom.
Okay, but wasn't it that we were thinking that we needed an extra bathroom for the younger kids? I don't remember, the TKs?
No, this wouldn't be for TK compliance, and so we wouldn't be putting a restroom. If we had to put a restroom in, there would be additional cost to run water and sewage out to that portable.
Got it, okay.
We currently have a place for TK. We can address that at another time if we need to improve the facilities for TK.
So my question is, if we use ELOP funds, I would hope that that would, and by all means, Lamita Park needs a portable. There's no doubt about that. I'm just, if we're using ELOP funds, I would hope that Happy Hall would have some space that they could dedicate to their program. I know they're storing things in different spaces, and if there were a portable and we're using ELOP funds, I would hope that they would have some kind of preference for that area. I know music would be 1 or 2 times a week or whatever, but you know, there's like 100 and something kids in that multi-purpose room every morning. That's crazy. So
Yeah, we would definitely, depending on what other programming is, make sure that there's adequate space and there's adequate storage in that room for any program that's in there, or if ELOP's in there, which I'm hoping ELOP can use that after school, we would have appropriate cabinetry and storage and furniture for them.
And before school?
And before school as well, yes.
Okay. Oh, Trustee Barbaro.
Yes. Do we have the option to buy after 2 years?
Yes, we always have that option, and at least we could ask them what the cost is to purchase it after 2 years. I chose to cost out a 2-year lease with an extension option, just because if we are going to move forward with the bond, we know what the plans are for Lamita Park, and I'm not looking for a permanent structure there at this time until we know more about the bond and the success if we move forward with that.
Perfect.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Discussion is over, so let's bring it to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, number 4, Brightview Landscaping Proposal.
Yeah, that's another one for me. Thank you, President Ferrario. So this is a proposal that we have a lot of tree work that happens in Millbrae here in the district. And so some of that work, because of short staffing, because of some reorganization of that department in the past, honestly, some of the landscaping work gets put to the back burner when some of the other work requests come in that affect the classroom, like doors, windows, anything HVAC, anything that's related to a building, we address those first. So this proposal is for about $100,000 annually to have them come in and take care of all of our landscaping needs up to 12 feet. So their canopy is 12 feet. So we can ask them to raise the canopy, especially in the district office parking lot where drop-off is happening. Those trees are getting below 12 feet. They would raise that to 12 feet so it's safe for people to drive by and park. And they also assess all the trees to make sure that if there is a hazard, we either have them address it, or if it's larger than 12 feet, then we would ask a company, possibly them or another landscaping company, to come in and address any hazardous trees. So this includes tree maintenance, tree care. It's an arborist that comes in and trims trees during the time that they need to be trimmed. I didn't know the trees could only be trimmed a certain time of year, or else you have pests that come in. And so I learned that through some of this work. Also, all of the shrubbery and lawn and blowing of any of the debris and clippings from the work that happens on a regular basis.
So
Jeff reminds me that they also maintain a safe distance of roof. So they create a 5 to 6 foot clearance of all trees and shrubbery from our roofs, which would mean less debris and need for maintenance on the roofs. And for gutters as well, yes, because the stuff gets caught in the gutters and then it builds up and that's how you get rust.
Do I have, this is a motion, do I have a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Yes.
We
On the
needed
map
this
here-
for years.
On the map here, it says Glen Oaks is part of this? It's-
Yes, Glen Oaks is all 6 properties that we are currently, we have in the district. And it does not include any of the athletic fields that are maintained, or will be maintained and continue to be maintained by the city.
By the city. But the city does not do Glen Oaks. That's the only.
The city does not do the athletic field, that is maintained by
the
Lions.
But then the lines are not reliable for the trees, because I think it was in the contract, right? In their contract.
There was some discussion about which trees Lions would be responsible for, and they're only responsible for the trees that are immediately impeding on the field. This contract would alleviate the need for them to have to do that as well.
Oh, great. Sorry, I was out of line there.
So I'm just curious, does this impact our own staff in any ways? Do we have like a gardener who usually does this and this is taking their job away from them?
This is not replacing any staff. This is alleviating some of the job duties, but this would not mean we would have a reduction in force. Some of the general landscaping does happen with our maintenance 3 position, but this would mean that they would be freed up to do more of the work orders that are immediately impacting the classrooms and the buildings.
Thank you.
So this is a yearly contract, so next year or in 2 years, you're like, okay, this is too much.
Exactly. This is a yearly contract, so if we're not happy with the service after this year, we do not have to renew it, or we can adjust it with them for future years. We can make adjustments or not renew it all.
Okay.
So I think we used to have a gardener, and that position got eliminated from what I understand. So, to answer Claire's question, like, would this be a cost savings if we were to have a new person? Or essentially, because we haven't hired that person back, we've had to, how have we been doing it? Just kind of piecing it together? I'm sort of concerned that this is actually an additional expense as opposed to sort of, I was hoping it would be a cost savings or a break even. Does it include the big tree? Like, I know we do some big tree work stuff too. It sounds like we're adding an annual component.
We are adding an annual component, and what you're referring to happened a few years ago with a department reorganization. So we used to have a grounds worker, a painter / warehouser, and a maintenance 2 position. And so with the department reorg, all of those positions got combined into one job description, which we call a maintenance 3 position. And so now the maintenance and operations department only has that position, and those duties fell within the scope of all of the maintenance workers to do, which means we don't have a specialist in that area, that Brightview brings a specialization in the training of the maintenance and care of the landscaping. So in that sense, it's alleviating some of those duties. What was the other question was?
I guess the question is, like, are we a wash, in the end, or are we just adding like more beautification for trees? You know what I mean? Not that I'm not okay with that, but at the end of the day, I want to make sure like our budget can handle an extra 100,000 for trees.
Absolutely. So this would alleviate some of the, most of the majority of the tree contracts that you saw before you in the past from last year. And even this year, we had a quote from a tree company for $61,000. This takes care of the majority of that quote. And if there is a tree limb or something that starts below 12 feet and extends above, if we cut it below 12 feet, now we've taken care of that as well. So this is going to save money in the long run because we're being proactive with our tree maintenance and not reactive. And it's also going to save money because we're not going to have to contract out some of the other general contracting things that our maintenance and operations team has had to contract out because they've had to spend time landscaping.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. I'm going to call a vote. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, number 5, approval of Escon Builders Proposal Number 1575, Green Hills Door Replacement.
That, I thought I was off the hook. That is me once again, President Ferrario. So this is something that is much needed. At Green Hills, we have 7 doors, I believe, that are facing the blacktop area, and they have been weathered severely due to rain and wind and sun and probably lack of appropriate gutters at times. So this is a proposal to replace all of those doors with aluminum doors, replacing the hinges and the seals, and we're putting doors in that are going to last 50 plus years at this point, and it's much needed. Some of those doors have been warped, and the maintenance and operations team has been piecemealing some solutions together to keep them locked at times. So this is another much needed project on the Green Hills campus.
Okay, do you have a motion?
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Gosh, I hate to be constantly asking questions tonight. I'm sorry. But I mean, I calculated it out and it's $6,300 a door. And I just don't understand why things cost so much more at the school district than if you were to do residential. I mean, granted, obviously, this is a door that's, commercial and heavy duty and not. But I mean, the markup, I just don't understand why it seems like every contractor for schools seems to mark things up by like a factor of God knows. So I don't know how we bid these, or I mean, I'm sure that's just the price, but it's maybe more of a comment, but it is also a question.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sticker shock for me too when I see some of these prices. And because we have to have specific regulations met with fire rating, safety features, all of those things, it does raise the cost when we have to have those regulations because we have children and staff in there. And it's a public building, not a residential. So those costs are higher when you get into regulations for these types of things.
So is this the inside courtyard, both inside areas at Green Hills?
The majority of the doors are facing the blacktop. All the doors that are facing the blacktop, all of those doors are going to be replaced.
I don't think it's the courtyard. I think it's that second building.
Yeah, it's
Second building.
Yeah, the FAR building, and then the houses, and then the big blacktop, and then it faces the houses behind.
Right, okay, got it. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, we're going to call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Hey, number 6. This is an easy one, I think. Approval of the January-June 2024 Board of Trustees meeting schedule. Okay, it's recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the January to June 2024 Board of Trustees meeting schedule. Do we have a
Motion to
a motion?
approve.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion. Any discussion? Oh. Discussion? Okay.
I mean, might as well. We have a lot of questions tonight. We're just going to ask the questions for the heck of it. No, again, so we're cutting back on meetings in April and January, I'm going to assume because of holidays. So,
that's
okay, there isn't anything to do with budget because I remember having it, okay. All right, that's fine. But if we need something, we can do a special board meeting.
You can always call a special meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, March, never mind. Okay.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 7, approval of revised 2023-2024 certificated substitute rates. Okay, it's recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the revised 2023-2024 certificated substitute rates as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion. I
Good
think
luck.
I had a question.
Good luck. I hope this works. I hope we can get subs at this price.
Yeah, that was my question. I think I messaged
Yeah.
Superintendent Skelly, and you looked all around, and so we're going to get to the head of the class now?
I'm hoping. I hear the last time that the Millbrae Elementary School District raised their rates, shortly after that, other districts raised their rates above that. So if that happens, we'll be coming back again.
Yeah.
Shortly after that with another increase to make sure we're competitive, because we did have some feedback that subs were going to other districts because they were paying higher. So we have matched those districts that they went to, so they don't have any more excuses not to sub for us, because we have a wonderful staff, wonderful students, and we are the best district to sub for.
There you go. I like your style. Okay, I'm going to ask for a motion. Do we have one? I have one. Okay, we're going to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Approval of revised job description for Director of Facilities.
This
Brown?
is me once again. And there's only one change to this job description, and it is changing the word required to preferred. We found out that when we had the first round of applicants,
Excuse me.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just changing the one word from required to preferred. When we had the first round of applicants, we were disappointed in the number of applicants, so we feel that if we go back out with that change to preferred, we'll have a broader range of applicants to draw from when we repost.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Approve. And a second?
Second.
Great. Discussion? I just a comment. I think we had a discussion about this at some time, about the qualifications and that whole job description. And so I recall that that was the one area that we wanted to modify to bring in a bigger pool of applicants.
Correct, and that was from that feedback and discussions that we felt we can draw a wider range of applicants for this position that's so needed.
Great. Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I had a question.
Motion carries.
No, sorry, I'll ask later.
I'm going to have to do something with these two
I'll ask
over
you
there.
later. I highlighted it too. and I didn't even think about it.
Budget Advisory Committee selection. So Trustee Famo was on the Budget Committee, and he is no longer on the board, and so we need to fill that position. We need to have a trustee be on the Budget Committee. So I can ask for volunteers. I know that we have one, if there's anybody that would like to do it, we have a trustee that currently doesn't have a position. And I could nominate Trustee Beltrami, or if there is someone else that
I thought I was on the bond.
Are you on the bond?
I thought I was bond. No?
That's just for the survey.
Oh, okay. I will nominate myself for Budget Committee.
I already nominated you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, then I won't nominate myself.
So I think we're just going to bring it to a vote. All those in favor of having Trustee Beltrami on the Budget Committee, say aye. Opposed? Okay. Oh, sorry. Discussion.
We're voting, whoever takes on that position, do they continue for next year? Or
You'd have to,
No.
you'd have to do that again, but
In December.
obviously they'd be a front runner. Because they'd be an incumbent.
Because in December is when we do these
Yes.
jobs.
The reorganization.
So-
But there is going to be a little shakeup, I think, on the committee. So
Okay, all right, shake
in
it up.
terms of, people that have been on the same committee for several years and
take
get
it.
nominations.
Once we get this settled,
60 years.
Mr. Kramer is anxious to get a Budget Advisory Committee meeting before we do first interim. So that's why this is on the agenda and nominated.
Got it. Well, now you have one. So we already voted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Claire, for doing that. Okay.
When are we rotating?
December.
December.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do it in November, right? November, but I don't know. We went back and forth.
Yeah, it's usually,
No, we did go November and December. Yeah, last year we went November.
I don't,
Before November.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I think it's when we rotate, our board positions.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Okay. Board governance, approval of revised board policy 3290, gifts, grants, and bequests. It's recommended that the Board of Trustees approve board policy 3290, gifts, grants, and bequests as presented. The highlighted items in the draft policy reflect the updated
Although this is
language.
pulled, I don't know why you have that on your.
We need to pull that, right?
Yeah, that's the one about the grants, correct. We only have two items on here. One is the bullying policy, and then is the 1,000.
And the other's bullying, right? So
Yeah.
we pulled, okay. So let me X that one, because I think we did have some, we need to see the highlighted version.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a bullying policy.
This is the board policy 5131.2, bullying and acquisition of AR 5131.2
Yes.
bullying. So Superintendent Skelly.
Yeah, so Mr. Horn did the legwork on this. There've been some changes in the policy, and what we have is a larger, the bullying policy has now gotten shorter, but the regulations have gotten considerably longer. So it didn't really make sense to cut and paste the two documents, although you do have the former policy there. You'll see that it's very different, but the bottom line is that the AR captures many of the things that were in the policy, and we're asking you to approve the drafts as presented.
Motion to approve? Yeah.
Discussion. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And number 3 is review of CSBA policy updates, community relations section 1000s and board bylaws section 9000s. So
Yeah, so first of all, I want to thank the executive administrator, Linda Whipple, for her work on these policies. As the board knows, it's been quite some time since these have been updated. She and I and others have been wrestling these to a good position right now. And so we're asking for you to review these. That's why they were on the agenda, but we'll bring them back on consent. We won't print out all these versions, but so you have to bring an extra backpack to the next meeting. But we will ask that you approve these on consent. We are interested in, however, in any questions you might have on particular board policies or board bylaws that were included here. That will give us the 2 weeks to respond to your comments. We're happy to spend that time now, or you can let us know by Friday of this week or Monday, and we can take a look at it if they're small issues. But if you have some fundamental issues with anything in here, that would be, we'd love to hear that now. We didn't see anything that was earth-shaking in these, but it does bring us up to, so our bylaws meet the law.
So it's the pleasure of the board as to whether you want to bring up any issues now or get them to the district office prior to our next
Friday.
meeting.
It seems like a workshop. No?
It shouldn't really entail that much. Superintendent Skelly, what do you think?
I don't think it'd be a lot, I don't think it'd be worth your time.
No?
The juice isn't worth the squeeze. So I would just say the best thing to do is take a look at these. There's nothing but you want to get your board policies to match law, to be clear. All those things have to be current.
So no eye openers.
No eye openers in this section.
Yeah. Okay.
Trustee Musa?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume the changes are based on CSBA
Yes.
updates, and I'm going to assume it's just changing language, adding things. I'm sure if there's something huge that's going to be changed, we would know about it, right?
Yeah, and there was one bylaw about how you rotated the board seats, for example.
Okay.
That I didn't know, so I asked Lynn, and she told me, and then we put it in the board policy. So
Yeah.
those are the kinds of pieces that were in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did have a quick question. Who is our compliance officer specifically?
Was that on there? There were several.
There's no name.
Well, you can make complaints to a compliance officer,
Yeah.
and I'm
It
like,
should be.
who technically is our compliance officer?
Yeah, I asked that question to somebody. Did we find out who that was? All right, we'll have it on the.
Usually it's the superintendent. I was the compliance officer at one point as the assistant soup.
Yeah, let me check on that. I do remember that, and I thought we had an answer on it, but we didn't. So we'll get that on there for next time.
It's usually just somebody from cabinet.
A
usually
statement
somebody
that
from
it was the superintendent?
It's usually someone in cabinet.
Yeah,
It's usually
yeah.
the superintendent or the assistant superintendent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, usually it's the names in the
I didn't know either. That's why I was
policy.
blank. But we'll find somebody.
Usually the superintendent, if he's not going to, the superintendent's not going to do it, he'll assign some.
Yes.
The CBO designee, yes.
There it is, designee.
Okay, great. So any questions about these items? Get this to Superintendent Skelly by next week.
Yeah, next Monday would be great. And then our plan is to bring you some more,
21st.
for discussion on this next meeting. But we'll try to kill fewer trees.
Okay. Thank you, Linda, very much for all your hard work on this. This has been amazing. There was just between these and the meeting minutes, you and Ange Smith too, went above and beyond getting this to us. So thank you so much. So possible future agenda items. Do I have any from Trustee Musa?
Again, thank you for the great minutes, because looking back at the minutes of a year ago, the discussion of homework policy and PE curriculum. Yes, and PE curriculum that we started discussing it, and it never came back for the board for approval.
What was that?
Homework.
Homework policy,
Okay.
I think.
That's a great topic for the next superintendent.
Oh, look at, you're passing it on to the next. No, I think it was revised a couple of years ago, and we called it homework beyond the classroom. And so our thing was we wanted to modify the homework so the kids are learning, they're playing after-school sports and all this stuff. So we just wanted to bring it back, and just, it's ready, the work has been done, it's just kind of
Okay,
revise it.
let me find it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's gonna need that much work. It's already, like, we had a committee, we went through the whole changes with a subcommittee. But it hasn't been followed,
Yeah.
and so.
Okay, all right.
PE curriculum, it was, we got the presentation, how many years ago? 5 years ago, and the board didn't approve it, and it's probably outdated right now, so I'll let the next superintendent.
I wanted to get an update on how the PLCs are going. I'd like to hear more about that program, since
Yeah, you
our
mentioned
staff
that
is
last time. We
going
need to put
on,
that this list. Okay.
they're going to conferences. I'd like to hear how those are going and how
Yeah,
everything's
I've got
being
that on the
implemented.
agenda for the principals meeting on Monday, so,
Cool, thank you.
right. We'll have some sort of report for you.
And I think we had talked a little bit about having some information on early release days in the elementary, and then early release at Taylor, the middle school, how that is organized or generated, or how we come to those decisions. Anybody else? Trustee Barbaro?
Well, we've been thanking everybody all night, giving thanks all night. But I wanted to thank our interim superintendent, Kevin, for kind of reeling us in as a board, bringing us all down to earth a little bit there. We were kind of all flying around a little bit. I'm guilty of it. And thank you for reeling us in, bringing us back.
You're doing good work. Tonight was a productive night. And it was joyful, right? I mean, even though you disagreed on some stuff, you worked hard on getting through things, and then a great presentation from your school. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on. You got great people here, so.
We're putting on our good face for you, Dr. Skelly.
All right, it's been fun. We're having fun.
What chapter of the book are we going to be in?
All of them?
Well,
Yeah. Too funny. Okay, I know you're anxious for me to say, do I have a motion for adjournment? Second? Second to adjourn. No, well, we have to. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.